Hello everyone, my name is Leo and with this video we share a direct comparison between the Ampero Stage versus the Line 6 HX Stomp XL. First of all, we will hear the two units in action with the demo song, then we will compare the features offered by the two units with a very detailed comparison chart, then we will hear more sounds, also comparing the two units against a real Plexi and a real Fender Deluxe Reverb, and finally I will give you my 2 cents. Let's start with the demo song. We will now check out the differences between the two units considering the items shown in the screen, like signal chain management, I/O, etc. And please notice that I will highlight the significant differences with the regular HX Stomp within brackets when important in my opinion. First of all, in the Ampero we have 87 amps, 68 cabs and 10 mics, with 4 of them that are combinations, like an SM57 and a Royer 1-to-1. You can select 6 different predefined positions of the mics, and we have preamps, amps or power amps simulations only. The HX offers 106 amps, 83 cabs and 16 mics simulations. With the HX you can set the mic distance and position, and finally we have preamps or amps simulations. So here basically the HX has a little bit of more choice in terms of amps and mics and more freedom in terms of mic placement. On the other hand, the Ampero provides us with the possibility to have just a power amp simulation, which is pretty handy if you want to pair your modeler with an external valve preamp, like the Revolt or the Victory V4. I was not able to find a power amp sim only in the Helix, but please let me know if it is available in the comment section below. They both offer the possibility to load third-party IRs, and we have 50 user slots in the Ampero and 128 user slots in the HX Stomp. With both the Ampero and the Stomp you can load IRs up to 2048 sample points. Furthermore, in the Ampero we have 20 pre-installed Celestions IRs. The Ampero offers more than 200 effects arranged in up to 12 blocks, with the possibility to have two parallel paths of effects, while the HX has 279 effects and you can run up to 8 FX blocks, still with the possibility to run parallel effect chains. Here I would not enter in the debate related to the number of effect blocks that you can run simultaneously, as it largely depends on the DSP power and the type of blocks you are gonna use, and each block needs different DSP power. I would just mention that the Ampero offers effects dedicated to just the voice, like an auto-tune, which are missing in the HX. Both the units have MIDI ports, where the Ampero has MIDI over TRS cables and the HX Stomp have regular MIDI ports. As regards I/O, the Ampero has two in, with one of them that is a powered XLR input able to drive a microphone. Then it has a stereo effect loop, unbalanced and balanced outputs in dedicated sockets, an headphone out and a dedicated aux in. The HX Stomp has two inputs, a stereo FX loop, balanced and unbalanced stereo outputs via TRS jacks, and a dedicated headphone out. So here the main differences are the XLR input of the Ampero Stage, which is missing in the Stomp. That is nice if, for instance, you are also a singer. Then I would mention the dedicated aux-in port of the Ampero, and lastly the dedicated XLR out of the Ampero, where in the Stomp you have XLR over TRS cables. They both have 8 foot switches, and the Ampero has one input for an external controller, where the Line 6 has one external controller input only. Obviously, the regular HX has just 3 foot switches. The screen of the Ampero is bigger and touch sensitive. Honestly, I found the HX screen very small, and it's maybe a sign of the time of these Line 6 units. In terms of looper, they both manage 60-second loops, even if I'm not 100% sure that the Ampero 60 seconds loops are in stereo or mono. If you know, please drop a message in the comment section below. Furthermore, the Ampero has a drum machine which is missing in the Stomp. Both the units can serve as audio interfaces at 24 bits with 8 USB channels. The Ampero reaches 192 kHz and the HX 96. Furthermore, the Ampero uses a USB-C port and the HX USB-B, where you know that I'm a fan of the USB-C port, as it is reversible and therefore more user-friendly in my opinion. Let me also mention that I'm not sure if the units run 192 or 96 kHz natively or upsampling lower frequencies. If you know, please drop a message. Then we have the special features, where I would mention the scenes management, the Bluetooth capability and the Wi-Fi connectivity of the Ampero, where the HX manages snapshots that are similar to scenes in the Ampero. So here Bluetooth and Wi-Fi are available only in the Ampero, with a nice app for your phone that could be friendly when you are on stage. Then we have the power needs, where both the units are pretty power hungry in terms of amperes. Let me also point out that the Ampero can run at 18 volts, that in theory should guarantee more dynamic execution management. As regards the dimensions and weight, they are pretty different, where the HX is longer and the Ampero higher. In terms of weight, they are, on the other hand, pretty similar. And finally, the price, where the HX is more expensive in euros but cheaper in dollars and vice versa. So let's summarize the main differences in my opinion. The HX offers more freedom in terms of mic placement, but the Ampero offers also the power amp only SIM, which could be handy if you want to pair your modeler with an external valve preamp. Then I would mention that the Ampero has a powered XLR input that can drive a microphone, a condenser microphone, and this could be a killer feature if you are also a singer. Then I would mention the screen of the Ampero, which is also touch sensitive, which, in my opinion, provides the Ampero with more user-friendly operations, especially if you don't use the computer app, as both the computer app are pretty nice and handy. The HX screen is really tiny, honestly. Lastly, I think that the price is not a differentiating factor, as if you are willing to spend 710 euros and you really like the HX, I don't think you should stop buying it for a 70 euros difference. Obviously, the same principle can be applied in dollars, but of course in the opposite directions. So that's all in terms of features. Let me know if there are differences that I didn't mention in the comment section below, so that together we can help other guitarists to make the right choice according to their needs. Let's now hear some more sounds. We will now compare the modelers versus two real valve amps, a jumpered Plexi that is connected to a greenback speaker and with everything to none but the volume that is at 8 for both the channels, and a Fender Deluxe Reverb connected to a Jensen speaker with everything to none. In the modeler I have loaded their simulations of the real amps with the IR I have made of the speakers I'm using in both the real amps. We will be testing the frequency response, the dynamic range management and the note envelope of the real deal versus the modelers, playing few licks with the guitar. I have already recorded the DI tracks of the licks in my digital audio workstation, so we are sure that we are gonna send the same exact lick to the modelers and the real amp, without introducing little human errors derived from the fact that it is impossible to play the same lick many times without little variations. These are the 5 licks I will be using. I will use the first to match the frequency response. I mean, we will hear the amps and the modelers with the same settings, and then I will tweak the modelers to sound as close as possible to the real deal. Then with the second lick we will hear the bass frequency. Then with the third lick we will test the dynamic response of the modelers. I mean, the way the modelers cleans up and breaks up according to the volume of your guitar, or how soft or hard you push the strings. And with the fourth and fifth lick we will check out the note envelope management. Then we will test also 3 effects for each modeler: a chorus, actually a CE1 chorus, a ping pong delay, and finally a plate reverb. I've tried to match the types of effects and settings for each modeler, even if it is almost impossible, as each modeler has its own parameters even for the same effect. Therefore, it is, as I was saying, impossible to make a scientific comparison. But at least I hope you will be able to hear, how to say, the character of each modeler, so that you can decide yourself which one you prefer. I will let you now hear the test, and I will not say anything, so that you can make up your own idea without being influenced by mine. And we will discuss the results later on in my 2 cents section of this video. Let's start. you. Final considerations here, and please notice that these are gonna be my personal opinions for my specific use cases, and of course you may not agree with me, and this is totally fine. Let's start from the tone. As regards overdriven tones, the Plexi simulations were both very good. I would say that the Ampero was the one that needed less tweaking, just having to increase a tiny bit the treble. The same applies also for the JCM 800, where both the units' simulations were almost spot on. Here, with a little advantage for the HX, which high frequencies really recalls me the real JCM 800. As regards the clean Fender Deluxe Reverb, both the Ampero and the HX required just to decrease the high frequencies, being both really close to the real amp. Please let me know your opinions and findings in the comment section below. I'm really curious to know what do you think about the tone differences of these units. As regards effects, well, as you know, I've always been skeptical in comparing the effects sound, as we don't have a clear reference as we have with amps. Furthermore, the parameters of each effect were pretty different each from the other, even when comparing the same effect. So, all in all, I think it's just a matter of taste. Two things are sure. With the HX you have 8 blocks, and with the Ampero you have 12 effect blocks. Furthermore, the Ampero has specific effects dedicated to the voice, like an auto-tune, which is missing in the HX. For playing live, I would not see too much differences unless you need dedicated balanced and unbalanced output. Once again, here the killer feature is the XLR input of the Ampero, which can also drive a mic. If you are a singer, or if you want to mic your acoustic guitar, for instance, with a condenser mic, the Ampero is the unit to go for you. In terms of easiness of use, without considering the computer app, the Ampero is easier in my opinion, thanks to the bigger and touch-sensitive screen. In terms of user interface, I think that Line 6 units start to show their age with such a small screen. In terms of price, I don't see a drastic difference. Once more, the Ampero is more expensive in dollars and cheaper in euros, and vice versa. But at this price level, I would not decide considering the price differences. All in all, here we have pretty similar devices, where the killer features of the Ampero could be: first, the XLR input, with also voice effects at our disposal, like an auto-tune. Second, the bigger and touch-sensitive screen. Third, its XLR out separated from the unbalanced one. Especially if you are a guitarist who is also a singer, or you love touchscreens, well, the Ampero is the unit for you. On the other hand, the outstanding feature of the HX is its mic simulation, where you have more freedom than the Ampero in placing the mic over the cabinet. But now it's your turn. What are your opinions? Which unit better suits your needs? Which unit would you buy? Please let me know your precious and valuable opinions in the comment section below. We have now reached the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did it, please subscribe to my channel, ring the notification bell and leave a thumb up, as it would be of a great help. If you're interested in my IRs or in my camper profiles, you can check out the link in the card above or description below, where there is also a link to a playlist of songs of mine. Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon in the next video. Bye bye.